What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Micro Machines, favorite nerd. Today we are looking at Unique Toys Buzzman or Buzzing or Running Man, something like that. It's their Blurr, and he comes with a few accessories. One being this like little thing here. It's probably from some episode I don't remember. It's got a bit of light piping inside there. It's like a piece of translucent plastic with this black kind of casing around it. Light piping does show up pretty well, as you can see. If you want, you can have him kind of put it in his hand. Not the most secure grip, really, but, you know, it takes a little bit of effort to make it fall out, so on a shelf it'd be fine. And then he comes with this gun that you see can hold. It's like a super mega power ultra mega gun. He doesn't hold it super securely. It's not like it tabs in or anything, but the grip is tight enough where it doesn't really feel like an issue. This is made up, this is like a parts forming thing, and it's like 3 components. So this is like the combined mode of it. And then you can take this part off and this part off, and then he has like this pistol, and then you take this and flip this down, and you have this gun. This is like a metallic silver finish on there. Looks nice. The rest is just black plastic. And as far as holding this, he holds it pretty well. As far as, and then just to drive home, we'll put the other one in the other hand. So, yeah, not the best looking gun when it's not combined, but it's kind of fine. I think this is how it is anyway. Maybe it's. That didn't work. I think that's how it is. I'm not sure. It doesn't come with it. This didn't come with instructions. So, shout out to Pinkerton from Realm of Collectors. He's the one who sent it to me, and they got a good show. You can check them out on iTunes. But you know, he was just curious if I wanted to take a look at it, and I was like, absolutely. I knew you guys wanted to take a look at it too, so I figured 2 birds, 1 stone, and all that kind of business. The transformation is actually pretty involved. I feel like a lot of the Target Masters transformations are involved. Do you agree? Shoulders forward. This ball peg here, he rotates up on it, and the legs rotate down. Hope you saw all that. Probably didn't. And then rotate this around here, plug that in, fold up the stock, or the, no, that's not the stock, that's the grip, the handle. And there he is. Articulation wise, it seems like the head should be on a swivel. It's not. You got a bit of a butterfly joint due to transformation. This is on a ball joint here. You got a single pin hinge elbow getting you 90 degrees. Waist swivel and a backwards lean, all for transformation, but it still works. And we got T-jointed ball joints for hips. Get you out to there, forward and back, no issues. And then a knee that's just a single hinge, but gets you the full range. You know what I mean? So yeah, all in all, pretty decent little Target Master. Target Master's not my favorite thing in the world, but I think it's good enough. I think that's what it needs to be, is good enough. Like I'm not sure if it's possible to blow me away, so to speak, with one. But that's pretty much it, and then we'll take a look at the figure. The head is on a hinged swivel, which you know is my preferred method for articulation when it comes to a masterpiece style figure. I just think it gives you everything that you want because it allows for the neck, so you get a good bit down, fair bit up, even given the head sculpt, and then you get the swivel. I don't think you need the confused dog look with a robot. It's just a personal opinion. Individual results may vary. We've got this silver finished fin on his head. It looks really good. The white paint is really sketchy. It's really dodgy. So that would be a recommendation I would make. Other than that, the face, I love the face sculpt. I love the eyes. I love the eye paint. I think that all looks top shelf. It looks like the same color eye paint they used for their Rodimus. and I'm just a fan of it. Moving down the figure, we got nice blue paint and white paint. Actually, that might be yeah, the blue is a separate piece of plastic. So it's the light blue plastic, the dark blue plastic, and then the white is painted on here and here. The white is good to go here. Looks like a little touch and go there. We got the silver paint down in here, or actually I think that's silver. It's hard to tell with the light. I think that's silver. I need to get my eyes checked. Good grief. It's like a really light silver, and that looks fine. Then we have this like blue metallic paint on the lower portion of his abdomen, and that looks good too. And look at all that color breakup between the silver, the white, the three shades of blue. It's quite good. And then moving down here, we got the yellow square that's painted in. These pieces rotate to allow for leg articulation. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way since we're here. And a waist swivel that works just fine. We got ratcheted universals, ratcheted forward and back, and in and out. Range wise, you get the full bit out. Not too bad forward and back either. So nothing really to complain about. Thigh swivel, separate joint. Double jointed knee. Look at the range on that. Ankle tilt. And a little bit of a rocker. You can kind of cheat and move this joint that's on a hinge further out to clear more of this sculpt here to allow for the rocker to get a more extreme, but then you get a little bit of a pigeon-toed kind of unit. We got the blue metallic paint here and the silver once again, and we got silver paint on the inside of the calf. I feel like you never see paint very often in here because it's just not something that outwardly shows much, and it really shows a level of care, in my opinion. And then we got the silver painted on the back too, and that looks good. The knees, the bottom joint is just friction, and the top one is a ratchet, hard ratchet too, so that's good. Silver paint on the toes, and then we have this piece also that swivels out. It's for transformation, but if you were in like a touch and go kind of pose, you could use that as an extra bit of support, if you could utilize it. I think a hinge here would have helped with this rocker a lot. That's one criticism I have. For the arms, we got ratchets, soft ratchets forward and back, hinge that goes out to perfect, I guess. Double jointed elbow, getting you the full range. Wrist swivel, well, a forearm swivel, which is really a bit redundant, and then a wrist swivel, and then we have fingers on a single pin at the base knuckle. The index finger is articulated, and then the bottom three are articulated as well. Paint wise, we have this metallic blue, a darker metallic blue here. Might be the same color paint, just on a darker piece of plastic. I can't really tell, but it looks richer. I like it a lot. And we have this blue here, little dodgy on the lines. Cleans up like a champ. This is a bit unsightly, but I got news for you. Like it bothered me in pictures, doesn't bother me in person at all. I don't think you'll pose them. Maybe one arm you'd pose up like that, and the other one out, and I don't think it would bother you. It doesn't bother me. And then we got the silver paint here, yellow paint there, silver paint there. Where else did I see? Oh, these yellow lines here. So like, this is a really extremely well-made figure. Like I gotta give it to them. Undo the backpack. These are spring-loaded. Just be aware. Bring this down, up, fold these out, and around, and come back around on the opposite side. So it's doing like a mirror of itself in a way, I suppose. And then it tabs in on both sides. And then this piece flips up and over. Open this up. Bring this down. I feel like, yeah, okay. There. This is one of those times I really wish I had some instructions, because there's a lot going on here. Like that. And then I know you want to swivel the waist 180. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. Next we'll do these pieces here. And then you open them up and pull them down. Open them up and pull them down. As you do this, this will start to kind of open up on you, and swivel these around, and then they should line up on the opposite side to form the front, and then that plugs in. Alright, and then hide the head. By untabbing that. Turn around, spin it around, flip it back down, and then push it through. And then I don't know, I can't remember what side it ends up on, but that's the front and the back. Alright, now that was the easy part. This is where I struggle a bit. So it seems to me you want to kind of set yourself up for success the best you can. Open up the back of the calf, turn this around, close it down. When I was messing with it just now, I forgot, like, I didn't have these up all the way, so I've now moved them up. So just know that when you have yours, you'll have to slide that down. And what that does is it gives you the two swivels, which is what you need for the transformation. You can fold the foot up. And then this is one of those things where, like, I just have to be oriented. Like, I think it's like this. Like this. No. Because the foot has to chase the inside there. So it's got to be like that. So just have the screws facing you. And then the calf screws facing away from you. And then we can kind of get this chair going here, which you just fold out. And then fold up, and then this bit I forget what to do with, so I'm just going to try to figure it out as I go along. Alright, I'm like hesitant to even mess with it because it's alright, so that's that. Let me start getting this one going too. So same thing, open this up, bring this out and around, and then screws facing you, and then fold that down, and then that screw, the bottom screw's facing away from you. Fold this up, chair out, like that. And then you want to bring them both together. And they tab in, the feet tab in to this section, and then this piece here tabs in down there, I believe. So let's just give it a whirl. It is nice, I will say, that this it kind of opens up, like, so it gives you a fair amount of wiggle room. Alright, this one's doing better. There. Now what am I getting hung up on here? There we go. So it's those ratcheted knees that are one of the things that jam you up. Okay. So that's all right. And then you fold these up, I think. Close that up. And I think all that stuff is good to go. Now, this bottom bit here, you have to bring this down and around. And then fold these thrusters on the inside, and then okay, and then have this tab here go into that slot. There, these tab in here also. So, and that should line everything up. Oh, hand is facing the wrong direction. It's aggravating. All right. So like that. Same on the other side. And then the last step is taking this, turning it around, and plugging these two tabs into the thighs, which kind of locks it all together. It was definitely easier doing it the second time. It's actually a really fun transformation. It's just this section here, and I'm not sure if I've got this right. I'm guessing that these come around, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think I have something right with this little section, but I'm just not sure. Either way, you get the general point, and this isn't mine, so I don't feel comfortable really kind of trying to force it. But that's it. Okay, so now all this stuff does kind of like, I think he sits in if you kneel him. I will say this ball joint pops off an awful lot. Let's see. Yeah, like that. Which is a little goofy, but it works, and you can do it better than what I'm doing it now if you like mess with it a bit. But that's it. It's kind of got to be kneeling down like a Sith Lord. But yeah, this is where it falls short a little bit, and it something doesn't seem right about the alt mode. Now, this raises like a question, right? So we'll get to that later on. But let me put it here, and let me show you a size comparison next to Tiger Tracks, which is there, so you can kind of get the general idea. He's a big vehicle, but it looks okay. It just doesn't. There is something off about it. There is something non-blurrish about it. And we'll talk about that in the final thoughts. But let's do some size comparisons in bot mode, and then we'll get there. I also want to point out like the color breakup, and like even this like one layer of paint there, like it does make it seem more finished. So I applaud. I think the alt mode is close enough. Real quick, the gun does tab in to here or here, whichever works for you, using this tab there. So there's a size comparison with Carry and Masterpiece Magnus, and like that scale to me feels dead on. Like that feels more appropriate. Let me give you an example. Like there's a Masterpiece car, and like the size of Blurr is kind of how I wish the Masterpiece cars were scaled. Now, I don't need to hear about a Sumbo chart and this and that. I'm just saying, for me personally, this feels right. Like this is kind of how I saw them. So I really appreciate the scale. Now, for the traditionalist, let me go ahead and swap him out. And there you go. And like that, I love that scale. I'm going on record and saying it. And then there's a comparison with SXS, so you can kind of see how that plays out. Final thoughts-wise, 3 complaints. Very simple, very straightforward. Number 1, the paint. Hopefully, by the time this thing gets a final release, the paint will be lined up a bit better. The parts that are a bit dodgy will be a little bit more mainline. Again, it's one of those things where individual results are going to vary. Number 2, I wish there was a hinge right here to give you more of an ankle rocker. As you can see, I'm kind of faking it till I make it, on this foot. So I wish that that was the case on the inside panel, just a single hinge there to allow that flap to come up to get you the full extent of the rocker, because the rocker is there. It's the actual, you know, the calf piece that's preventing you from getting it. And number 3 is a tie between the accessory and the alt mode. So the alt mode, I feel like, is kind of taking some liberties in order to allow the accessory to kind of sit in there. I wish they would have done away with the Target Master altogether and just made the cockpit look a little bit more appropriate. And I think that that would have made the whole thing step up from like a 9 to a 10. But this figure is great. Make no qualms about it. Like, this is a really solid unit, Mac. I'm telling you, pick it up. If you're a masterpiece collector, pick it up. The paint is good, with the exceptions of some little places that I feel like will be tightened up in the end, or at least my fingers are crossed and hoping so. The articulation is like a 98.5. The only exception is that little bit of a limited ankle rocker, but in most pose collections, gonna look fine. The materials feel good. The transformation is a little bit tricky, but is just tricky enough to feel like a challenge that's fun as opposed to a challenge that's frustrating, which to me is really the key. And with the amount of tabs and like big open ports for them to go in, it becomes a very intuitive and very fluent process to get through. The sculpt, mold, line work is dead on. This thing is radiating Blurr. The only bit of kibble that's on there are on those elbows, and I'm telling you, it doesn't bother me in the least. Not in person. Bothered me a little bit in the images that we saw online, and you know, this piece down here used to be really long. I'm glad they fixed that, because this thing is, I feel like, that probably didn't help sell it, let's be honest, but this thing I feel like really is a masterpiece. Like, I feel like this is probably the best thing that Unique Toys has made, with Troll being a close second. I highly, highly, highly recommend this figure. It's on loan to me from Pinkerton. Shout out to ROC crew, the Jackal Squad, and whatnot. But there is no question as to whether or not I will be picking this up. The answer is a definitive yes. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking, now I like SXS Blurr and he fits well on my IDW shelf. But you know, Pinkerton and I haven't got a chance to really talk one-on-one a whole lot. We talked recently about Star Wars, but not about Transformers. And I was thinking that maybe I could do a case of the old switcheroo. Oh boy, I don't want to send this thing back. But I know from calling Hong a couple days ago that a phone call is not the way to go about it. But Pinkerton watches some of my videos. He knows I can make a ton of mistakes. If I'm not paying attention to exactly what I'm doing. Like if I was just like, whoa, SXS Blurr, whoa, how could this be happening? But of course not, I wouldn't do that to him. Love that dude, love that crew. Thank you for letting me look at it. It's definitely, I was on the fence about this guy just because it's Unique Toys and I wasn't sure if I needed this. I know that I definitely need it now, so I appreciate the chance to take a look at it. And other than that, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.